Once upon a time, on a cold and quiet winter day, a queen was sitting by the window, sewing. Snow fell quietly, and her needle pricked her finger. 3 drops of blood fell on the white snow. The queen wished for a child with skin as white as snow, cheeks as red as blood, and hair as black as night. Soon, her wish came true, and a girl was born. They called her Snow White. Sadly, the queen died a short time later. The king married another woman. She was very beautiful, but her heart was full of jealousy and pride. She had a magic mirror and asked it every day, "Who is the most beautiful?" The mirror always praised her. Years passed, and Snow White grew up. She became more and more beautiful every day. One day, the queen looked in the mirror and the answer shocked her. The most beautiful was now Snow White. The queen became very angry and made a plan to get rid of the girl. She called a hunter and told him to take Snow White to the forest and kill her. The hunter let Snow White go in the forest. She was scared, but she was thankful that he spared her life. She walked for a long time in the forest. She listened to the birds singing and watched the wind move the leaves. She was tired and hungry. Finally, she found a small, lovely house. The house had 7 small plates, 7 small cups, and 7 small beds. Snow White ate a little from the food on the table and lay down on the most comfortable bed. She fell asleep. In the evening, the owners of the house, 7 dwarf miners, came back from work. They saw that someone was in their house. They found Snow White sleeping. When she woke up, she told them what had happened. The dwarfs invited her to stay in their house, and Snow White agreed. The queen saw in her mirror that Snow White was still alive. She became very angry and went to the dwarf's house 3 times in disguise. The first time, she tied a tight corset and made Snow White faint, but the dwarfs saved her. The second time, she used a poisonous comb, but the dwarfs saved her again. The third time, she made a red and white apple. The red part was poisonous. Snow White bit the apple and fell to the ground. She could not wake up. The dwarfs put Snow White in a glass coffin and placed it in a quiet place in the forest, surrounded by trees. Days and months passed. The birds sang for her. The wind touched her hair. Sunlight shone through the glass and into the coffin. One day, a prince from a far country passed by and saw the coffin. He was amazed by Snow White's beauty. When he moved the coffin, it shook, and the piece of apple in her throat came out. Snow White began to breathe again and opened her eyes. The prince took Snow White to his castle. They got married and had a big wedding. The evil queen was also invited, but she got her punishment and a sad ending. Snow White and the prince lived happily and peacefully. The forest and the dwarfs often visited them, and they all lived many years in friendship and love.